Jesus says, "Learn from me, for I am meek and humble of heart, and you will find rest for yourselves. For my yoke is easy, my burden is light." Jesus was meek and humble of heart. He was born in humble circumstances in a stable at Bethlehem. He was raised in a humble place like Nazareth, a small town in the hills of Galilee. And he taught and he performed great things humbly in the years of his ministry. In our readings today, Jesus reminds us how humbly he lived his life, and he tells us to live like him. And if we do, we'll find rest for ourselves. Our yoke will be easy. Our burdens will be light. Our Old Testament reading this Sunday from the prophet Zechariah reminds us of Jesus' entry into Jerusalem at Palm Sunday, which was an example of how he lived. He entered Jerusalem, the goal of his ministry, riding on a donkey. He doesn't come like kings of his time who came to their cities on war chariots, surrounded by warriors with bows and arrows. He doesn't come on horseback like the Roman cavalry that kept order in Jerusalem at his time. He came as a poor man, riding a little donkey. And his retinue was made up mostly of Galilean fishermen and some women from Galilee, among them Mary, his mother. Instead of an impressive lifestyle, Jesus was humble. Instead of surrounding himself with all the things money can buy, instead of surrounding himself with the rich and the famous, Jesus lived simply. The Gospels say that, preferring the company of the poor, the ordinary, the sinners. There's a wonderful television series called The Chosen, portraying Jesus meek and humble of heart, interacting with the world of his time. It's worthwhile looking at. But the message today, of course, is that humility doesn't get you anywhere. You have to impress people. And the richer you are, the more things you have, the bigger connections you can make, the better off you'll be. That's what gets you rest for your souls and takes your worries away. Someone was describing a wedding they went to recently, and the best way to sum it up was it went overboard. Too much food, expensive decorations, music that was too loud. The whole affair was over the top. It didn't make a good impression, and you wonder whether the people who did it were left for broke at the expense. The word humility is an interesting word. It comes from the word earth. It means you have to put your feet on the ground in reality. And what is reality? That's where on the earth we're here for a few years. We're frail creatures. We're not invincible. We have been given the gift of life by God. It's a wonderful gift. Most of the gifts of the life are free. We don't have to buy them, but we have to discover them. We have to hold on to the gifts that endure, the promises that God gives us. Yes, there's labor, burdens. But come to me, all you who labor and are burdened, Jesus says, I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I'm meek and humble of heart, and you'll find rest for yourselves. For my yoke is easy, my burden is light.